If you look to the right-hand side, we're going back in time. We're going back pre-election, 27th of July, 2024. Trump is promising you do not have to vote again after the current election, the 2024-2025 election. You don't have to vote again.
With voting, one of your most important things you can do, maybe in many ways your most important, they don't want to approve voter ID. That's because they want to cheat. But until then, Republicans must win. We have to win this election, most important election.
Okay, I've got to jump in straight away. Okay, so there's two things. At the time, they were alleging that illegals and dead people were voting. It went to the courts, they threw it out. Now what he's done is required that you actually need ID. You got to think about demographics of people that have got passports. This is a blatant effort to deny voting rights to American citizens. They know who the citizens are. And it's not only if you've got a passport or not, or formal ID.
We want a landslide that's too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine.
You won't have to do it anymore. It will be fixed. Now, Trump is not a complicated man. Hacker group Anonymous have said there are suspicious patterns to what happened in regards to the vote. But one of the first things that he did was remove accountability. Elon Musk had access to everybody's data and he put Doge in charge. Now, you tell me one person other than Elon Musk that you know that's on that team. And even if we start from there, he's been investigated for a lot. Now, who else is on that Doge team apart from most of these sycophant kids? And if you go into any complex organization and you don't have the experience in depth to know what the hell you're doing, then what are they doing? Maybe they're doing exactly what's coming from the orange man's mouth himself, and would that be surprising?
You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote.
And this is another thing, labeled himself a Christian. By what standard is Donald Trump, who's cheated on his wife a million billion times, minimum Stormy Daniels, and we know he's lived the Playboy lifestyle for a very long time. Isn't he the one that's grabbing women by the toot? That doesn't sound too selective. Isn't he the guy that's holding up that upside down Bible at the time of the George Floyd protests and trying to get the National Guard to confront these peaceful protests? Etc, etc, etc. We can choose to be blind to everything if we want, but somebody, that rap sheet and everything else that we know can't possibly be on any kind of pedestal of virtue. Make that make sense.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote. In conclusion, America has always been a nation won, built, and sustained by Americans of faith. It was faith that led the Pilgrims to cross an ocean and settle this majestic continent. It was belief in our Creator that led the patriots to defend their liberties in the war for independence. It was faith in America.
Just a second, the independence linked to Constitution, right? Separation of powers. How is he respecting that Constitution? He's talking about doing 3 terms minimum. He's bypassing Congress and just issuing presidential orders. He's putting people in charge like Musk without any kind of oversight. He's playing golf at a time that world peace is on the brink and people are dying. This is where his focus is, right? This is where he's put himself forwards. He's going to handle it. And he's playing golf on the weekend. Make that make sense.
America's God-given destiny that pushed the pioneers to journey west, and it was trusting God that led generations of American believers to end slavery, defeat fascism and communism, and
one of the first things that he did was repeal civil rights legislation. One of the most staunch things that he's trying to do, or has done, one of the staunch things that he has done is remove DEI, perhaps in the mistaken belief that it was people of color, those former slaves, just trying to get equality of an opportunity. just dismissed out of hand. Ironically, of course, because there's no research at all. It was mostly white females who benefited from DEI, and then it's LGBTQ, and then it's retired servicemen. And there's even more layers, and then maybe it's going to be the Blicks. Well done, Donald Trump. You failed again.
Make this into the greatest and most exceptional nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, its willpower, and its strength. We are a nation that has lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With our leadership, every disaster...
Just quickly, America's got the biggest economy. America's got the biggest military. What the hell is he talking about? If you're at number one, if you're at number one already, what the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about somewhere else? Let's let it go.
Sir Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have created can be fixed and can be fixed quickly, and it will be fixed quickly. Every problem can be solved and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure.
It's just about to talk about inflation, so let's go back a little bit. The borders, are the borders secure? Are the borders secure? Obama is the deporter in chief. But I think for Trump, what he didn't mention was the people that he's thrown out the country haven't even had due process. Haven't even had due process. So we're not talking about the illegals, we're talking about the legals, not the illegals. We're talking about the legals. Just gone, put on the plane, straight into prison with due to an admin error. Is anybody surprised? It's just one thing of incompetence after another. We're dealing with real people in their lives, American citizens. Let's hear him talk about inflation.
And can be fixed quickly, and it will be fixed quickly. Every problem can be solved and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. We will have it in full...
Inflation, is that in full retreat? The first thing that you did is send eggs through the roof, unqualified, often uneducated clowns you've got in your cabinet who are your yes men. And that's the most scary thing, because the dumbest person in the room should never be in charge. Maybe it's because of the tariff war that you immediately put America into, in which you didn't even understand who pays a tariff. You don't understand who pays a tariff. That's the fundamental. If you're going to talk about tariffs, you don't understand who pays it, then everything else falls apart. You put these record high tariffs on the world, having the world basically in economic opposition to America. But more than that, your main trading partner, China, has got the biggest tariffs. And you had the climb down. Well done. You played yourself.
Retreat. It will happen quickly. Our economy will be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will...
Hold on, economy roaring back. The Dow Jones, 5 days of your crazy tariff plan. 5 days. And it went down 10%. Congratulations. And then, when you reversed on that plan to an extent, when you backtracked on that plan, it bounced back. But of course, you got to sully that as well with blatant insider trading, saying in the early morning of that day, oh, I think it's the time to buy, giving a signal to buy, knowing that your policy was going to reverse a decision. And then everybody else who doesn't follow your platform will be burnt, including American citizens, particularly those affected by the Dow Jones, such as those who are retiring in their 401k. Congratulations again. You're on a roll.
Be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burned.
law and justice will be restored. I guess he's not talking about the time he failed to comply with that judge's order to turn that plane round regarding those people removed from the country without due process. That can't be what he's talking about, can it? And go back to these tariffs. Didn't he say it would be a good thing when he was dodging taxes? Didn't he say regarding taxes that would be a smart thing to dodge? I wonder if that's a double standard there anywhere. I can't work it out.
Bright. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the worst administration in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past. And our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States.
That is a very interesting thing, because that would imply democracy, that you vote people who reflect your wishes and is receptive to the feedback in order to guide policy. However, this is autocracy. This is top-down rule. This is the only opinion that matters is not the American people, it's the American person. Guess which person we're talking about? Nobody else matters. If you don't think that's true, go to any prominent platform in which he has some influence, say your honest opinion on one thing that you don't agree with, and just see what comes back. But you already know that anybody that disagrees with this orange man is removed from post. And some people think that's actually a good thing. That is the definition of a lack of democracy, lack of accountability, before we go into the restrictions he's put on the press. And the most worrying thing is, from all the things that you know which are completely messed up, which are going on right now, there's so much going on, there's so much being forced through. It's impossible to keep track of it all, but we will see. But I fear it actually may well be too late. Just going back to whether the next election is going to be fixed, even if there was suspicion that it was, and they're going to be covering their tracks and they're going to have their sycophants in all areas, even if there was, the process is going to take years. And by then it's already too late, and there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing that they will do. Congress was meant to keep a check on this orange man, and they absolutely got no intention of doing it. And surely you know, you guys are in the huge trouble, and anybody of any standing, now's the time, if you can, take a sabbatical for a couple of years, remove anything which is going to tie you to that toxic place, so that if it came to it, you can bounce, because changes are coming and it's going to shock you guys, I'm absolutely sure. We will see.
We'll be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Right? Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. It will be the most important day in our history as a country. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glory.
I wish it, well, they are one movement, and that movement is one people, to the exclusion of all others. But most importantly, I think it will be the most important day, because that is the day your Constitution was eroded forever. Fundamentally, it lost the fight. It fought a good fight, but it ultimately lost the fight, and it lost it to this orange idiot. And one of the most, just as a quick aside, he's so blatant and stupid, but it just boggles the... Say if there was somebody with a twisted nature of Trump, but with intelligence, that would be the most scary thing in the world. But in all truth, it does seem that all hope is lost and nothing can stop this tidal wave over the next 4 years. And just to quickly go to one of my earlier predictions on a different video, America is amassing a lot of troops just off Iran. And I do, for the sake of humanity, have fear that there's a lot of innocent people going to be just blown to smithereens, and they're going to be demonized. And that's just the start. And this orange idiot right here is going to create a perpetual war, and that's just going to be another tool that he hopes will keep him in power forever.
And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again.
in terms of strength. He's fundamentally undermined NATO. He's completely withdrew from the world. He used to be the world leader not that long ago, 2 months ago. World leader. You completely isolated yourself. You've isolated your allies to control your main enemy, which was and still is Russia. But not only that, he's doubling down and trying to guarantee land in Ukraine. And as bad as it sounds, our front line of the war is giving away so much resources and land, which allows them to tiptoe closer and closer to his allies in West London. And Russia will not stop there. And then there's a time when you won't be able to tame them and hold them back. And he doesn't realise they'll roll their borders forwards and forwards and forwards until they threaten him. And they don't like him. They can't stand him. They're not from the West. They're from an Eastern mentality of just grit. And they just want to roll their borders forwards and forwards and forwards. And it's not going to stop. He just doesn't understand. He's too stupid.
We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. God bless you.
When he said safe, I read a report not long ago that some Americans feel afraid to travel. I think in most of the sane world, people just look at it as economic competition, but it's competition and exploitive competition at best. So I don't know if a lot of Americans do feel safe or welcomed, or if they expect to be greeted warmly. I said they will be safe, but I don't think they're going to be greeted necessarily that warmly. I mean, I've got American family. I look beyond somebody's politics. At the end of the day, I'm just doing a channel, for goodness sake. But I can imagine if somebody's making themselves bully and everybody else bullied, then nobody's going to take that well to that, as a concept, strangely enough. But in terms of their people, they'll still be safe. But I think it's just distasteful. The whole kind of thing is distasteful and it's exploitative. So interesting words, but it's just more delusion, and it's just more craziness and delusion of a very intellectually limited man. I just hope it's all going to work out. I do have fears internally for America that this change is going to continue to be sudden and dramatic, and there's going to be a lot of people that lose out. I just hope that it's not as bad as what it could be.